I'll tell you a few island stories. Whoops. When they did Fantasmic, the bottom of the river was actually muck and junk and crap. So when they drained it, they concreted it in. The Injun Joe's Cave originally started on this side. They dropped you off over here. You got on the other side. Actually, it moved a little bit, but this is where you unloaded. If you notice when you went on the Injun Joe's Cave before the recent changes, all the signs were behind you. You walk through, you'd have to turn backwards to see what some of the signs said because you were going in the exit. But they started dropping you off on the other side, and that was the first exit or first entrance in. So the whole story or experience was in reverse. So somebody faux pas years on just by, you know, where they're dropping you off and all that. A lot of weird, interesting stuff happened on this island. I won't get into the nasty details of it all, but when Fantasmic started, they would stage up in the fort. We had the regimental headquarters, you know, with regimental people. I forgot who was up there. But they would sleep in there. They would put them in funny poses. They basically trashed the joint. And if you heard earlier about the fight between Tinkerbell and the messy rock climbers, same thing. The Fantastic people did not care what condition they left the island in. And in the morning, the crews were cleaning up trash. It's just a mess. I don't know if it's got any better, but show people are show people. You know, it's about the show, not about the small details of cleanliness and trash cans. I mean, there'd be a trash can empty with crap all around it. It was disgusting. The big pit, you know, we didn't see, if you saw Fantasmic last night, the dragon didn't come out. The dragon pit's at least another story below the water line. It's pretty big. It's kind of cool. It's the only air-conditioned spot on the island if you were a cast member for a break. But again, a imaginary My Way moment. Get your pictures.
You got both of them going at the same time?
It means it's busy. Yeah.
You guys in security ever catch people hanging out on the island at night?
No, we actually, the island clearing method was pretty good. We started in the back of the fort. We had two guys, so you could see down the trails. One would stand in the front of the fort while you go through the fort and make sure it's empty, through the tunnels. So we were pretty thorough. Some people did try to get on it at night. There's a tragic story, somebody dying on a grad night, I think it was, trying to take a canoe that was docked in the back and go across. Stuff like that. Oh, the story about the wheelchair. I got a call, I'm going to say it's around 1996. Go to the island, some guy's complaining he can't get on the island, he's in a wheelchair. We give him the standard spiel, the boats are rickety, or you know, they move, water comes on them, the pathways are uneven, it's not a safe environment. The guy with the wheelchair person literally flipped open his cell phone, speed dialed, and he's like, "Can I talk to Michael Eisner?" I'm like, I don't want to be here. Called my supervisor. As soon as he got there, I left. Next day, they were letting wheelchairs in the island with tentative instructions that it is, you know, not a safe environment for a wheelchair. They're uneven paths. They're soft dirt. They'll slide around. They did now have upgraded the restrooms to handicap accessible. The new rafts over here are actually Coast Guard certified. They've been tested on open water. They can allow only so many people on them. The old rafts, oh, we got more room here. Let's cram a few more guys in there. And there were times water covered half the raft, you know, and the rafts are not, it's the only thing, well, the rafts and the canoes are not on tracks. Those raft drivers are good. I tried driving it once. It's not as easy as it looks. And they make it look pretty easy. So it's pretty good. Any questions? Yes?
Is it true?
No.
Is it true they got rid of Ursula voted Fantastic because of water problems?
I've been told it was rotting and falling apart and they didn't want to fix it. Again, it's just a story. Sometimes frontline cast members don't know squat. So it could be true, it might not be true. That one I couldn't tell you 100% one way or the other. Any other questions?
Keel boats.
Keel boats.
Those weren't on tracks, were they?
Keel boats were not on tracks. The two keel boats that were used here were actually from the Davy Crockett movie. They were authentic pieces from the movie. Very top heavy. Actually, if you want to see an interesting picture of keel boats, I forgot the guy's name, but he's in my contacts on Flickr. He worked at Walt Disney World prior to its opening and its opening. there are pictures of the keelboat out in Seven Seas Lagoon, taking employees and people who worked on the project on a sightseeing tour. And there's one picture where one's run aground. So those things are, you know, the real deal. They were very top heavy. One ran into the falls once, and then one tipped over in the 80s, and that was about the end of the keelboats. And they were a seasonal attraction that were only really open when it's busy. Walt liked the busy river. He wanted that was commerce and transportation in the day of the theming. So he wanted all this commotion on the river, and there was commotion. I mean, you had to get around the canoes, you had to get around the big ships. You know, so it's pretty authentic, I guess you could say. But one keelboat is partially sunk on the island over here. I'm not sure where the other one is.
Richard Craft.
Where?
Richard Craft.